Woo! On the road again. Guess where I'm going? I'm going to a little town in Nebraska. Home with the Cornhuskers. A little town called Kearney, Nebraska. And who am I going to see? I'm going to see this guy right here, Dent Popper. The Dent Popper. And his name is Scott Van Oshweg and his brother Andy. Now, what makes them unique is that they are, from what I understand, and what they understand, is the oldest paintless dent repair shop in Nebraska. That's right, I think they started back in 1991. Let's check them out and see what they have to say and how they got started. And let's see what Kearney, Nebraska is all about.
Hey Randy, welcome to Dent Popper.
All right, guys. So Scott and Callie, and Scott, you've been in here. You've been doing paintless dent removal for how long?
30 years.
30 years. Let's hear the story.
Well, my dad started this business about 30 years ago. Worked for a General Motors dealership in Alliance, Nebraska, and had a cousin that worked for David McDavid in Texas, and told us about some new crazy process where people would come on their car lot and take out some door dings, and that's where we kind of got our start. Went down to Plano, Texas, and Dad trained for about 2 weeks, came back to Nebraska and started doing it, and that's how I got my start, just training with Dad.
Now, I've heard, and we've talked about this briefly, but you could be the oldest PDR shop in Nebraska.
I believe at the time that Dad got back from training, according to the New and Used Car Dealer Association in Nebraska, there might have been one other person in Omaha, but he was most definitely the first person anywhere west of Omaha in the state of Nebraska.
Did the one in Omaha have a shop?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think he was strictly
So
mobile.
when I say the oldest, 1991, I think you're probably going to be, if somebody else is older than you that has a retail location, I'd be really surprised.
Yeah, I would say we're probably one of the oldest that has a physical brick and mortar location.
So how old were you when your dad trained you?
23. I worked for my dad part of a summer, learning how to do the dents and training, working with him, and then I came back to Kearney to go back to school and finish my college, and worked half a day doing mobile PDR and half a day at school, and that's how we got our start.
Scott, tell us about you. Tell us about your family, hobbies. Who's Scott, and how do you pronounce your last name?
The last name is Van Oshweg, not near as bad as it looks on paper, but a little bit about me. I love sports. We play a lot of golf in the summer. Used to play a lot of volleyball and softball, but I'm getting a little long in the tooth for that. So it's mainly golf now, and we just we work and golf and play, and that's about it.
Okay, Scott, you're in the middle of nowhere out here in the middle of Nebraska. Just cornfields everywhere and cows and
Yep.
Great fishing. Fred and I did
Yep.
some fishing yesterday. We caught one fish, but I know there's great fishing out here. But you've had to do stuff to really broaden your business.
So when we started, we did just mobile paintless dent repair. Added a Chips Away franchise a few years in, did some paint repair for dealers, and a little bit of retail with that. Over the years, we've kind of gotten away from doing the paint repair, and we do an awful lot of accessories, tonneau covers, running boards, WeatherTech products. About 15 years ago, I would say, we started doing spray and bed liners. We have a lot of rural ag customers, and that has been a great add-on. We do probably 2 to 3 bedliners on average every day out of our shop, which doesn't sound like a lot to probably a big shop, but with only 2 or 3 of us in the shop, that's a lot of bedliners. So that's kind of helped even out the business for us.
And you have 2 other guys too. One is Andy and one is Ryan. Andy's,
yes.
Explain who Andy is to you.
So Andy is my brother. He is about 7 years younger than I am. He actually lives in Shatter, Nebraska, out in the Panhandle. He does mobile PDR for us out there. He has several dealers that he takes care of, and then he will also come to Kearney every so often to work with us. If we need help during a hailstorm, he'll come and help with the hailstorm. But mostly he just stays busy out in the Panhandle for us. Then we have Ryan Perkins, who is an employee of mine. He's the newest employee. We've had Ryan for 4 to 5 years. Just actually started training him to do dents, so kind of exciting. He had been our bedliner applicator, so now we'll be in the market for a new bedliner applicator, but that's great.
Scott, tell them about when you got started working out of your Firebird.
So when I first started, I drove a 1976 Pontiac Firebird. Not in the greatest condition, not mint by any means, but it was the only vehicle I had. So I would go to college part-time and do mobile PDR in the afternoons generally. The only way I could get my light at that time to go in the trunk of my car, or in my car period, was to take the passenger side marker light out of the trunk so that the end of my light would stick through there so that I could get it into the trunk to get on the road to go do my dealers. So in the grand scheme of thing, my first dealers that allowed me to work when they saw a kid pull up in a 1976 Firebird and pull a light and his tools out of the trunk, I still have a soft place in my heart for those first dealers that let me work there.
What would you tell a new guy starting out? And you do have a new guy starting out. So
I do have a new guy starting out. So to the new guy starting out, first of all, don't get discouraged if there's something that you run into that you're having trouble with or you can't fix fully. It happens to all of us. Now, you guys all have a big advantage over older guys like me. The technology is exponentially better for you guys to start. The glue pulling, just the tools in general are exponentially better than what we started with. Going to a hardware store and heating up a screwdriver and bending the screwdriver to how we needed it and grinding it. Now you guys can just buy whatever you need immediately. It's great.
Scott, Ryan Perkins is your guy that's been with you. You sent him for training down.
Yes. Yeah. So Skip Phipps trained him down in Springfield and just got back. Actually got back on Sunday.
Yeah. So we're going to go meet him real quick.
Yep. Great.
All right, Ryan Perkins. So I just pulled you out of the back to bring you up here because it's so loud back there. So you've been the bedliner guy here at the Dent Popper for how many years? 4 years? 5 years?
4 years, I think.
Okay. You, from what Scott told me, he said you approached him and said, "Man, I'd like to learn how to do PDR."
Yeah.
How'd that take place?
Just asked if there's anything else I could do around the shop, and he brought up the PDR thing, and I was like, "Cool. When can I start?" When I had no idea what went into the process or anything like that, and it just snowballed from there. And
so you went down to Skip Phipps.
Skip. Yeah, he was
actually
cool.
hosts a show every Sunday morning, or brings us words of faith and words of encouragement.
Yeah.
What do you think of Skip?
He's a good guy. He's fun to be with. I couldn't think of a better teacher to show me the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's.
So let's talk about real quick, because I think this is interesting.
Yeah.
How difficult was you to locate your tool in the first couple of days? Explain the first couple of days to us.
So I got there. He put me on a hood, just a steel hood, and it was the whole thought process on locating your tip, kind of, I don't know, dragging it across the top or doing a little test pushes the right term, but just I'd say that was the hardest part, other than getting on a door to look at it sideways, I guess, on a different plane.
It's pretty different from
yeah.
the first day or two of being on a flat surface,
Yeah.
and now you turn your head sideways and
Yeah.
expected to do the same and expected to see the tip.
Yeah, but once you can figure out the tip, finding the right, getting your head steep enough to find the center of the dent. After that, it was making sure you don't push too hard, and that was the probably the biggest eye-opening moment.
Sure.
Was.
Well, we appreciate you giving us a moment of your time. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
And it's a great field, a great industry.
Yeah.
You've got a great future ahead of you. I know Skip told me you were doing really, really well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was ironic that I actually was up here this week. And
it was.
so.
That was fun. He told me that, was it Thursday morning?
So
I got a friend down at your shop.
That's awesome.
But,
well, we appreciate it. Appreciate your time, Ryan.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Scott, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I love your shop. I love the little town of Kearney, Nebraska, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I appreciate it, Randy. It was great meeting you.